Good afternoon. This is All India Radio. I'm Anuja Kumar and with me is Abhishek Mukhopadhyay with the Midday News. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair a review meeting on preparedness to deal with heat wave and upcoming monsoon season today. Prime Minister returns to Delhi after concluding his successful visit to 3 European countries, holds discussion with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on regional and global developments. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates BSF's floating border outposts at Hingalganj in West Bengal. President Ramnath Kovind to address 16th convocation of Mizoram University in Aizawl this afternoon. India to be country of honour at Marché du Film to be held alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. At the ongoing 24th Delimitation in Brazil, India wins 2 gold and 1 bronze medal on day 3. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to meet Sunrisers Hyderabad in Mumbai this evening. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will chair an important review meeting today on preparedness to deal with the heat wave affecting several parts of the country. Official sources said the meeting will also review the preparedness related to the upcoming monsoon season. Prime Minister Modi returned to Delhi today after concluding his successful visit to the 3 European countries of Germany, Denmark and France. It was the Prime Minister's first visit abroad this year. In Berlin, Mr. Modi held bilateral talks with Federal Chancellor of Germany, Olaf Scholz, and the 2 leaders co-chaired the 6th edition of the India-Germany Intergovernmental Consultations, or IGC. It was the Prime Minister's first IGC with Chancellor Scholz and also the first such government-to-government consultation of the new German government, which assumed office in December last year. During the visit, Mr. Modi and Mr. Scholz jointly addressed a business event. The Prime Minister also addressed and interacted with the Indian community in Germany. On the second leg of the visit, Mr. Modi travelled to Copenhagen and participated in the 2nd India-Nordic Summit hosted by Denmark. The bilateral component of the visit included talks with Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen as well as an audience with Queen Margaret II. The visit provided both sides an opportunity to review the progress as well as examine ways to further expand the multifaceted cooperation. During the visit, the Prime Minister also attended an India-Denmark Business Forum and addressed members of the Indian diaspora. During the 2nd India-Nordic Summit, Prime Minister Modi interacted with other Nordic leaders, including the Prime Ministers of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Sweden and Norway. Briefing media in Copenhagen, Foreign Secretary Vinay Mohan Kwatra said, prior to the summit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held bilateral summit meetings with his counterparts from Finland, Iceland, Sweden and Norway.
His meetings with 4 Nordics leaders started with his meeting with his counterpart from Norway, where the principal focus of discussion and partnership was on 1. Blue economy and its various facets, renewable energy, in particular cooperative possibilities in the field of hydroelectric and green hydrogen. 3. The technology and investment ties. In this context, Prime Minister invited Norwegian pension funds to partner in India's growth story. 4th, in the health sector, in which the 2 leaders talked about cooperation relating to joint research in vaccines and development of health infrastructure. And 5, cooperation in building and restoring water bodies in India. They also talked about continuing cooperation and coordination in the UN Security Council.
The summit focused on subjects like post-pandemic economic recovery, climate change, innovation and technology, renewable energy, the evolving global security scenario, and India-Nordic cooperation in the Arctic region. The first India-Nordic summit took place in 2018 in Stockholm. The Foreign Secretary said Prime Minister Modi also held a meeting with his Swedish counterpart.
Prime Minister Shri Modi's second meeting was with his counterpart from Sweden, where the principal focus of discussion and cooperation was one on clean technology and sustainable solutions. This was discussed broadly under two rubrics, one relating to the investments by Sweden in India in clean technology and sustainable solution, and two, partnerships in research and innovation in this field, drawing on very successful partnership under the LEAD IT program, which is the program relating to industrial transition.
On his return journey yesterday, Mr. Modi briefly stopped over in Paris and met French President Emmanuel Macron yesterday. In a statement, the Ministry of External Affairs said the Prime Minister met President Macron in one-on-one and delegation-level formats. The two leaders held discussions on the entire range of bilateral issues, including cooperation in defense, space, blue economy, civil, nuclear and people-to-people ties. They also took stock of the regional and global security outlook and discussed ways to work together in making the India-France strategic partnership a force for global good. Prime Minister's visit to France displayed the strong bond and goodwill not only between the two countries but also between the two leaders. The Prime Minister invited President Macron to visit India at the earliest. A joint statement was issued after the talks. In a tweet, Mr. Modi said France is one of India's strongest partners. He said both the nations are cooperating in diverse areas.
Union Home Minister Amit Shah today inaugurated Floating Border Outpost BOP or Border Security Force BSF at Hingalganj in West Bengal. He also flagged off a boat ambulance to provide medical assistance in these inaccessible areas. Mr. Shah reached Kolkata this morning on a two-day visit to West Bengal. He will also participate in several events during his visit. Tomorrow, the Home Minister will visit the India-Bangladesh border area of Teen Bigha, where he is scheduled to interact with BSF personnel. The Union Minister, after attending a program at Victoria Memorial Hall in Kolkata later tomorrow, will hold a meeting with office bearers at State BJP headquarters. His two-day visit to the state will culminate at a cultural event organized by the Ministry of Culture to celebrate the inscription of Durga Puja on the UNESCO list of intangible cultural heritage in the evening at Victoria Memorial in Kolkata. Jammu and Kashmir Delimitation Commission today signed the final order for delimitation of the Union Territory. The Commission was constituted in March 2020 for the purpose of delimitation of assembly and parliamentary constituencies in Jammu and Kashmir. The term of the Commission, headed by Justice Retired Ranjana Prakash Desai, is set to end tomorrow.
President Ramnath Kovind, who is currently on a 4-day visit to the northeast, reached Aizawl in Mizoram today after concluding his tour to Assam. President Kovind will address the 16th convocation of the Mizoram University at Aizawl in the afternoon. President Kovind last evening addressed the valedictory function of the Northeast Festival organized by the Ministry of Development of Northeast Region as a part of Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav in Guwahati. Speaking on the occasion, President Kovind said the northeastern region will emerge as an engine of growth for the entire country. The President said the northeastern states are the natural gateway to the South Asian countries with international boundaries of over 3,500 kilometers and they are strategically significant for our country.
As per Vastu, which is a part of Indian culture, the northeast direction is always considered to be very auspicious. That the northeastern states will bring about prosperity and success of our entire nation. The geography of the northeastern states one day is going to pave the way for creating a new glorious history of our country.
You are listening to the Midday News on All India Radio. A reminder of the headlines before we move on. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair a review meeting on preparedness to deal with heat wave and upcoming monsoon season today. Prime Minister returns to Delhi after concluding his successful visit to 3 European countries, holds discussion with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on regional and global developments. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates BSF's floating border outpost at Hingalganj in West Bengal. President Ramnath Kovind to address 16th convocation of Mizoram University in Aizawl this afternoon. India to be country of honour at Marché du Film to be held alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. At the ongoing 24th Deaf Olympics in Brazil, India wins 2 gold and 1 bronze medal on day 3. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to meet Sunrisers Hyderabad in Mumbai this evening. For quick news updates around the clock, follow us on our Twitter handle at @AIR News Alerts.
कंपटीशन की अगर आप कर रहे हैं तैयारी तो उनके लिए ऑल इंडिया रेडियो पर हम लाए हैं अभ्यास, एक ऐसा कार्यक्रम जिसमें आप पूछेंगे सवाल व्हाट्सएप नंबर 9289094044 पर या फिर ईमेल करेंगे abhyas.airnews@gmail.com पर और हमारे विशेषज्ञ देंगे इसका जवाब। आपका अभ्यास हमारा प्रयास।
Welcome back to the Midday News on All India Radio. India will be the official country of honor at the upcoming Marche Dieu film being organized alongside the Cannes Film Festival in France. The festival will be held from the 17th of this month. The announcement was made by the Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakur during a press conference in New Delhi yesterday.
India will be the country of honor at Cannes Film Festival. This is the first time such honor is being bestowed to any country. So India will be officially country of honor at the upcoming Marche Dieu film, which is organized alongside the Cannes Film Festival in France. The country of honor status thereby ensures India's presence as focused country at the opening night. India is also a country of honor at the Cannes next. So on the opening night, whereas on one hand India can showcase its cinema, culture and heritage. On the other hand, as I said, India will be country of honor at the Cannes next, under which 5 startups would be given an opportunity to pitch to the audiovisual industry.
Mr. Thakur said India is also a country of honor at the Cannes next, under which 5 new startups would be given an opportunity to pitch to the audiovisual industry.
कंट्री ऑफ ऑनर में कान नेक्स्ट जो उसमें भी 5 नए स्टार्टअप्स को वहां पर जाने का अवसर मिलेगा। 10 प्रोफेशनल्स वहां पर जा सकते हैं और वहां पर अपने ऑडियो विजुअल इंडस्ट्री को अपना काम भी दिखा सकते हैं, नेटवर्क कर सकते हैं, सीख सकते हैं। ये अवसर भी वहां मिलने वाला है। मैजेस्टिक बीच पर जो ओपनिंग नाइट होगी वहां पर भारत की फिल्म, संस्कृति, संगीत इसको लेकर उस पर प्रकाश डाला जाएगा, वहां दिखाने का उसको अवसर मिलेगा। भारत की कोई ऐसी पिक्चर जिसका वर्ल्ड प्रीमियर करना हो, ये भी अवसर हमारे पास आया है और इसके लिए आर माधवन जी की रॉकेटरी पिक्चर को चुना गया जिसका वर्ल्ड प्रीमियर कान फिल्म फेस्टिवल में होगा।
India has been given an opportunity to pitch 5 selected movies at the Goes to Cannes section. A cinema hall called the Olympia Screen has been dedicated to India on the 22nd of May for screening unreleased movies. This year, the Indian Pavilion carries a theme, India, the content hub of the world. It will showcase Indian cinema across linguistic, cultural and regional diversities of the country and will serve as networking platform for delegates from across the global community. Over 189 crore 63 lakh vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. The Health Ministry said over 13 lakh 98,000 doses were administered yesterday. The recovery rate is currently at 98.74%. 3,275 new cases were recorded in the last 24 hours. India's active caseload currently stands at 19,719. Active cases stand at 0.05%. Daily positivity rate is at 0.77% and weekly positivity rate is at 0.78%. 55 deaths were reported in last 24 hours. Over 83 crore 93 lakh total tests have been conducted so far. Over 4,23,000 tests were conducted in the last 24 hours. The Health Ministry today said that more than 193 crore 53 lakh vaccine doses have been provided to states and union territories so far through Centre's free of cost channel and through direct state procurement category. It said more than 18 crore 82 lakh balance and unutilized COVID vaccine doses are still available with the states and union territories to be administered.
The Ministry of Civil Aviation has opened an application window for manufacturers of drones and drone components under the Production Linked Incentive PLI scheme. The manufacturers who have crossed the PLI eligibility threshold for the financial year 2021-22 can submit the application form at the website www.civil civilaviation.gov.in. The deadline for submitting the application form is 20th of this month. The final list of PLI beneficiaries is expected to be released by 30th June 2022 after detailed scrutiny of the financial results and other specified documents. Earlier on the 20th of last month, the Ministry has published a provisional list of 14 PLI beneficiaries based on the financial results submitted by PLI applicants for the 10-month period of 1st of April 2021 to 31st January 2022. Minister of State for Commerce and Industry Anupriya Patel has said the government has taken several steps for the growth of industries and adopted an industries-friendly approach. She said policy support provided by the government is taking the industries forward. Speaking at the first FICCI National Conference and Awards on Industry 4.0 in New Delhi today, the minister said the fourth industrial revolution is driven by data and technologies, and industries have to play a critical role to play. Talking about Prime Minister Narendra Modi's vision for the upcoming 25 years when India will achieve 100 years of independence, she said government is reducing the compliance burden. On this occasion, CEO of Niti Aayog, Amitabh Kant, said the fourth industrial revolution driven by robotics, augmented reality, Internet of Things, blockchain and artificial intelligence are impacting the entire manufacturing process.
Reserve Bank of India has hiked the repo rate by 40 basis points, taking it to 4.40%. RBI Governor Shaktikant Das said Monetary Policy Committee at its meeting decided to increase the policy repo rate under the Liquidity Adjustment Facility by 40 basis points to 4.40% with immediate effect. ASSOCHAM Secretary General Deepak Sood said that the decision of the RBI Monetary Policy Committee to reverse the accommodative cycle and raise interest rates is a remedy to tame inflation. Reacting on the RBI decisions, Mr. Sood said, increase in a repo rate and cash reserve ratio is a pointer for hardening of the lending rates by the banks amidst challenging global headwinds in the form of high inflation and supply disruptions. He said the rising credit cost would add to the challenges for the corporates in terms of their pricing power. However, in the medium to long term, a moderation of the inflation rates should lead to a revival in demand. The U.S. Federal Reserve hiked the interest rate by a rare half percentage point last night. This is the sharpest increase in interest rate since 2000. The U.S. Central Bank announced plans to shrink its $9 trillion asset portfolio starting next month in an effort to reduce inflation that is running at a 4-decade high.
European Union has unveiled the latest package of sanctions against Russia over Ukraine, proposing a total ban on oil imports from Moscow and targeting its biggest bank and major broadcasters. European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen announced plans to cut off European purchases of Russian crude oil within 6 months and end imports of refined energy products by the end of this year. She said the package was aimed at maximizing pressure on Russia while minimizing damage to Europe. Sweden has received assurances from the United States that it would receive support in the period of potential application to join NATO is processed by the 30 nations in the alliance. Swedish Foreign Minister Ann Linde said this in Washington yesterday. Sweden and neighbor Finland stayed out of NATO during the Cold War, but Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014 and its military operation in Ukraine have led the countries to rethink their security policies.
The U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken tested positive on Wednesday for COVID-19 and will shift to a virtual work schedule, the State Department said. The Secretary is fully vaccinated and boosted against the virus and is experiencing only mild symptoms, the department said in a statement. Blinken has not seen President Joe Biden in person for several days, and Biden is not considered a close contact, it said. Haryana police has arrested 4 terrorists near Bastadhatol Plaza in Karnal district and recovered explosives, arms and ammunition from them. Karnal SP Gangaram Punia said the police has received secret information from Intelligence Bureau and police arrested them when they were coming from Punjab on an SUV and moving towards Delhi. According to police, the 3 containers of explosives have been recovered and bomb defusal squad has been called at the spot. According to police sources, the terrorists belong to Babbar Khalsa outfit and working on the direction of terrorist Harvinder Rinda, who is in Pakistan. The explosive was sent to Firozpur in India from Pakistan through drones.
BJP President J.P. Nadda will attend a public meeting at Mehboob Nagar in Telangana this evening. Mr. Nadda will be taking part in the ongoing Praja Sangrama Yatra taken up by the state BJP President and Lok Sabha member Mandi Sanjay Kumar. He took up the march demanding the state government to fulfill the ruling TRS party election promises, especially on employment, relief to farmers and housing to the poor. And now let's listen to a special program, Azadi Ka Safar, highlighting the importance of the day during the freedom struggle.
आजादी का अमृत महोत्सव।
Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. Birth of a nation. India's glorious freedom struggle is one of the greatest struggles the modern world has ever witnessed. AIR News brings you a glimpse of the struggle every day.
In today's episode, we remember freedom fighter and the former President of India, Gyani Zail Singh, who was born on the 5th of May 1916 in Faridkot, Punjab. He opposed the rule of the Maharaja of Faridkot in his home state and was imprisoned several times for it.
When Zail Singh was barely 15 years old, he became active in the independence movement. In 1938, he established the Praja Mandal, a political organization allied to the Congress Party in his home district of Faridkot. He was arrested by the police and sent to a 5-year jail sentence.
While he was referred to as Gyani for his scholarly mastery of the Sikh scriptures, during his incarceration, he changed his first name to Zail after being imprisoned several times for opposing the rule of the Maharaja of Faridkot.
In 1947, with the reorganization of India along secular lines, he opposed the ruler of Faridkot state and was incarcerated. Zail Singh was called on to be the revenue minister of the newly formed Patiala and East Punjab States Union. Later, Singh served in the Rajya Sabha in 1956-62 and was elected the chief minister of Punjab in 1972.
In 1980, he was elected to the Lok Sabha and appointed as the Minister of Home Affairs. In 1982, he was unanimously nominated to serve as the President of India and became the first Sikh to hold this office.
हमारा राष्ट्र अनेकता में एकता की शानदार मिसाल है। यह हमारा धर्म है कि हम इस राष्ट्र को एक सूत्र में बांधने वाले उन तहजीबी रिश्तों को और मजबूत बनाएं।
Gyani Zail Singh passed away on the 25th of December 1994 in Chandigarh. We salute the great Indian.
We also remember revolutionary freedom fighter Nepal Mukherjee, who was made a state prisoner on the 5th of May 1917. A resident of Dhaka district, now in Bangladesh, Mukherjee was a prominent member of the Dhaka Anushilan Samiti as well as the Jugantar Party.
He took part in many revolutionary activities, notably the Chandrakona robbery in 1916 and the murder of Deben Ghosh thereafter. He was also a custodian of the arms and ammunition being procured for the Indo-German conspiracy. He was in close touch with revolutionary Atul Ghosh and other leading members of the Jugantar Party.
Nepal Mukherjee was interned via government order dated 11 September 1916 and made a state prisoner on the 5th of May 1917. He was released on the 4th of January 1919 and later arrested again. He died during internment in June 1926 in Comilla. We salute this great martyr.
We also remember Chittagong Revolutionary Party member Manoranjan Sen, who was killed by the British military guards on the 5th of May 1930.
Indian Republican Army!
Manoranjan Sen took part in the Chittagong Armory raid on the 18th of April 1930 and also in the fighting against the British soldiers on Jalalabad Hill on the 22nd of April 1930.
A participant in the plan to raid the European residential area in Chittagong on the 5th of May 1930, Sen was chased by the military guards, surrounded and killed in the encounter. We salute this great son of the soil.
We remember martyr Shadi Khan, who took part in the First War of Indian Independence in 1857 and fought the British on different occasions. He led a group of independence activists and marched towards Delhi.
On the way, Khan was caught by the company troops in the course of a confrontation and charged with sedition and rebellion against the British. He was sentenced to imprisonment for life with labour and iron in April 1858. He died in the Andaman Islands on the 5th of May 1859. AIR salutes this great son of India.
That brings us to the end of this episode of Azadi Ka Safar with AIR News. See you in the next episode tomorrow.
आजादी के अमृत महोत्सव के पावन अवसर पर आकाशवाणी समाचार के कार्यक्रम परिक्रमा में बृहस्पतिवार को शाम 4:45 पर सुनिए देश की आजादी में अपना अमूल्य योगदान देने वाले भारतीय स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के सेनानियों की वीर गाथा।
On to sports. The government has prepared a new draft national youth policy. The draft policy envisages a 10-year vision for youth development that the country seeks to achieve by 2030. The Department of Youth Affairs has sought comments and views on the draft policy from all stakeholders. At the ongoing 24th Deaf Olympics at Caxias do Sul in Brazil, the Indian contingent began the campaign on day 3 with 2 golds and 1 bronze medal. Shooter Dhanush Shrikant struck gold in the men's 10-meter air rifle competition, while Shaurya Saini bagged a bronze, finishing behind Korea's Kim Woo-rim in the 8-man final. The Indian badminton team also won gold, beating Japan 3-1 in the final to make it a double celebration for the country. India is currently placed 8th on the medals table with 2 gold and 1 bronze medal. Ukraine tops the standings currently with 19 gold.
The Board of Control for Cricket in India, BCCI, has banned journalist Boria Mojumdar for 2 years after finding that he intimidated Indian wicketkeeper Riddhiman Shah. The decision was made by the BCCI's Apex Council in response to a committee's investigation report into the charges levelled by Shah. The ban includes not getting press accreditation for any matches in India, a prohibition on interviewing centrally contracted players, and no access to any of the cricket boards or state units' facilities. In IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals will meet Sunrisers Hyderabad at Brabon Stadium in Mumbai this evening. The match will begin at 7:30 p.m. Last night, Royal Challengers Bangalore defeated Chennai Super Kings by 13 runs at the Maharashtra Cricket Association Stadium in Pune.
Now let us take a look at the weather update for the day. National capital Delhi is expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. Mumbai is expected to have mainly clear sky. Srinagar is likely to have a partly cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm. Gilgit is expected to have generally cloudy sky with possibility of rain or thunderstorm or dust storm. Muzaffarabad is expected to have partly cloudy sky. Visakhapatnam is expected to have generally cloudy sky with light rain. Guwahati, Imphal, Shillong, Aizawl, Kohima and Itanagar are expected to have partly cloudy sky with possibility of development of thunder lightning. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi to chair a review meeting on preparedness to deal with heat wave and upcoming monsoon season today. Prime Minister returns to Delhi after concluding his successful visit to 3 European countries, holds discussion with French President Emmanuel Macron in Paris on regional and global developments. Home Minister Amit Shah inaugurates BSF's floating border outpost at Hingalganj in West Bengal. President Ramnath Kovind to address 16th convocation of Mizoram University in Aizawl this afternoon. India to be country of honour at Marché du Film to be held alongside Cannes Film Festival in France. At the ongoing 24th Deaf Olympics in Brazil, India wins 2 gold and 1 bronze medal on day 3. And in IPL cricket, Delhi Capitals to meet Sunrisers Hyderabad in Mumbai this evening. And with that we end the midday news.